Hey, what's up? Kalen here with Karma's Hero, just living the dream. See what I did there? Um, so, anyway, wanted to talk about today kind of like career path planning for your employees, for developers. I think that, I was thinking about the fact that I've heard from some people like agency owners or business owners that there's a frustration when a developer who they've hired, trained, kind of brought them up, might, leave. That's something that's very difficult for agency owners because that's, they invest a lot in people and that's how they make a living. So having not done that really before myself, it's taken me some time to really get some empathy for that, because you might say like, oh, they're just being greedy or whatever, but it's more than that. That's something they've put blood, sweat, and tears into, and so it's difficult. At the same time, I think that I was having this great conversation with my buddy Eric about how what they're planning to do at Mage Mojo is they're planning to start to structure their hiring process where they say, hey, you're going to work support for a year, hosting support. You're going to learn Magento. You're going to get certifications. You're going to get raises based on those certifications. And then we'll help you get another job after that year, right? And we were talking about that, and I think it's a really interesting approach. Particularly when it comes to hosting support. That can be a tough job, right? So it's like, hey, you're going to put in some time for a year. You're going to learn a lot. You might not want to do that like for the next 10 years of your life, right? But just more broadly than that is just the idea of thinking through like what kind of a career path makes sense for your employees, and then even encouraging that, like, hey, you're going to work here for 2 years or 3 years or whatever, and then we're going to help you move to your next role, right? Like as small, I think this is one of the benefits that bigger companies have is that like you work at Google, right? You can move around. You can move from one team to another team to work on something totally different. You can, as developers, we like to work on new things. We're kind of innately curious, and that's one of the cool things about working at an agency is you do get to work on different types of projects. But maybe you want to do a different type of work, or maybe you want to move to a higher level of seniority, but there's only so many roles within that company, so it makes sense to kind of go somewhere else. So I think that if companies can, and one of the interesting things about this conversation with Eric was just like his coming to this point of like, hey, people are going to want to leave, and they actually have a very good retention rate of their employees, but like, how can we systematize that, figure it out so that it makes sense for us as a business, and are able to profitably hire that person, train them, and get them to where they are. Like, you want to make a profit in the process of doing that, so that if they stay with you, great, that's awesome, and if they move on, hey, that's great for them, and it's also great for you because you have this nice system of hiring employees and training them and that kind of thing in a way that you're not losing money. Like, I think maybe some agencies, maybe they put too much risk in hoping the employees stick around for a really, really long time. And they maybe need to systematize that a little bit and approach that with a more systematic mindset so that they're not going to lose money if the person leaves after a year or 2 years, right? Because everybody has to be able to make a living. So that's just something I've been thinking through. If anybody is interested in figuring that out, it looks like, Eric, we're going to structure some things for people at Mage Mojo to, get placed through Commerce Hero and things like that. And if anybody's interested in looking into that, let me know. We can think about that. But I think that's just something that's probably good to be thinking about, as an employer. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, comments, agree, disagree, post it in the comment box. And thanks for watching.